Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hello, Secretary Redding.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you. And as you know, I am a rural legislator. And how many county fairs have we been at together? And enjoyed, might I add.
Thank you.
So I would be remiss if I did not express that I'm such a strong supporter of 4-H and all other ag line items that we have represented in our budget. You know, I serve on the Agriculture Committee. I'm the chairman of the Ag Caucus. In fact, there's a busload of students right downstairs today from my district, and they're representing how important 4-H and other ag programs are to all of us. The questions I had regarding 4-H and the ag line items were already posed, so all I ask is as we continue through the process that you please keep us as a priority, and we would appreciate that.
Yeah, you have that commitment.
I thank you.
Thank you.
So from the emotion, I'm going to go to the real and ask some technical questions, if I may. This has to do with restaurant inspectors. Does the department have, we have a department within the department, so how many inspectors do you have, and what exactly are their functions?
Yeah, so we'll get the number 61. I think it's 61 in staff. Yeah, so we are charged with, you know, the actual food safety inspection. That could be retail, it could be wholesale inspection. There are milk inspections. So there's a standard food code that each of our inspectors would use for the annual inspection of those facilities, and of course, go through that process, make whatever corrective actions are necessary. Right.
And I think you might have revved up the program, because I'm noticing in the daily newspapers now more frequently different establishments that are being reported on. And thank goodness many of them have passed with flying colors, but when there's a problem, that certainly is listed. But with that being said, I know we do it as a state mandate, but what about, as with weights and measures, what happens if local municipalities, because I understand some counties or even townships have their own guidelines, so
Yes.
what happens if they revert back to the state because of lack of funding? What would happen? Do you have enough inspectors, or what is the protocol?
Yeah, so noted in the testimony, and I think that was sort of the basis of Representative Keller's question about the inspections, but just in recent years, the local municipalities, 27, have turned that responsibility back to the Department of Agriculture. 1,556 restaurants that needed annual inspection. So we've stepped in and have picked that up. And I'll also note that when they give things back, I mean, two important points. One is they can do it on a notice. They can say 30 days from now, I'm giving you this responsibility. So on the receiving end, we've got no ability to sort of schedule that or to staff for it or try to accommodate it. And secondly, they're usually not in the best form when you get them. Right, they come to you, and it's not like they've got a bow on them. Right, they come to you on a list. Maybe you get contacts, maybe you get current restaurant inspections, but our experience has been that they're usually not in great form, which means each one of these takes extra time and effort to sort of get them into our system. And even though there's a standardized food code, some of the municipalities aren't using that in its fullest. So, short answer is in recent years, coming back, expect that trend to continue, and it takes a lot of work to put it together. So 6 inspectors, six equivalent of 6 full-time inspectors that we've received work for. We don't have the staff. That just means you push that out to existing staff.
Wow. I think you need more, though. I truly do, because food safety to me is such a priority. In fact, the food safety law here in the Commonwealth prohibits food preparers and food servers in retail and food chains from handling prepared food with their bare hands.
Yeah.
And I get complaints in my office. That isn't followed through. And quite frankly, I think it's because perhaps the staff doesn't stay long enough, or maybe a staff is trained and then they move on, and maybe it's forgotten. And that's such an important step. I mean, you can't handle money, or you can't handle something that is not sanitary and then go and serve a person something with your bare hands, not in this state. but I don't think everybody realizes that. So how are you going to get the word out?
Well, I think we continue to work with the Restaurant Association, the food merchants. Penn State is here as, again, one of the opportunities we have working with Penn State Cooperative Extension and Outreach. It's much like the biosecurity question that's asked earlier. The end of the day, the individual practices that employers and owners have every single day of employees is the most critical part of food safety, or biosecurity in the other case. So we've got to keep working at that. It's a constant effort with turnover of staff, constant staff at the restaurant level. To your point earlier, with what is published, we have seen a marked improvement.
I bet.
For sure. It's the last place you want to be is in the newspaper with a poor report, right?
That's for sure, yes.
So that has helped to drive some better behavior as well.
But they never cite whether or not people are, how they're handling the food. So maybe that's something that has to be a part of the criteria. I don't know, but
Right.
something to think about.
Okay. Yeah,
With that, thank you for being here, Secretary.
Yeah, good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.